Congresswoman, that was very powerful. And as you reflected these thoughts for emerging public leaders, I'd love to shift now to those in the room who may be in the entrepreneurship space. I don't know if you've read the statistic that Ghana is home to the greatest number of women entrepreneurs. Can we have a round of applause for all of the phenomenal women entrepreneurs that this country is producing? Women in Ghana are dynamic, they are hardworking, and they are hungry for opportunity. We recognize that just a few weeks ago, the Biden administration has launched its new Africa strategy. And it's encouraging to see women and young people being placed at the center of that. And we wonder, can we expect policies to come out of that that look like AGOA, that can, really be a game changer in terms of the trade relationship? Because I think a lot of Ghanaians have such affinity for the US, and in addition to the cultural relationship, we feel there's room to deepen the trade relationship. So I wonder what you can say, especially to those who are business owners and entrepreneurs who are looking at this new strategy with a little hope and expectancy that this will result in something game-changing. What do you think we should expect or can hope for?
What I will say to you, I'll give you a yes. And what I will say is that the economic engine that lifts the boats of Africa lifts the boats of the United States. We cannot remain isolated in this very small world. First of all, we're together because we now have the amazing world of technology. So we are sitting in our den talking to you here in Ghana. We're doing business with you just because of the cyber level. So AGOA has not only the opportunity for rebirth, and it is not going to be easy. Let me be very clear. It will not be easy. That's why the expertise of Rosa Whitaker is going to be so important as she visits with us in Washington, because we must now make it a more sophisticated tool. That tool must be that it also addresses the small businesses, the entrepreneur. Before we were thinking of cloth and various other things, just came out of your shea butter production. And I can assure you the market for shea butter is just out of the roof in America. Bring us boat, ships, planes. It will just go through. That's just one thing. But I'm just saying. So, but it started small. So there are many opportunities. Our business acumen is greater now than it was when we signed the AGOA. And I was there at the White House. As I said, Rosa was with us in her other capacity when we did the inaugural AGOA trip with Charlie Rangel. And I was fortunate enough to be with that delegation. We were the fact finders for President Clinton to say, let's do it. And we had a lot of facts. We went from the east to the west. But let me finish to say that AGOA should be really a tool that gives entrepreneurs and women entrepreneurs. We're now more focused on women-owned businesses. That's now a bigger deal in the United States than it was when we first wrote AGOA. We will now have those elements in an AGOA bill. We'll look to, Rosa, to be more defined so that we can include women-owned businesses, small entrepreneurs, and small entrepreneurs are men and women. We're not trying to limit the champions, but I expect that. The other issue will be the access to capital. I'm a big supporter of the Exim Bank, which is to give American businesses the opportunity to do business over here. So there should be more of a synergism between American businesses and businesses in Africa, collaborating with you all. I would like to see more African Americans doing business or business partnerships with Ghanaians and Africans, not to the exclusion of a very diverse nation. We're very diverse, but this may be a new opportunity for that kind of, again, as I use the term synergism, but collaboration. Climate change brings about an enormous opportunity in green energy and green jobs. That may be a piece of AGOA in terms of companies that get special benefits if they're dealing with green energy. The last trip I took with President Obama, we were over on the east side with Ethiopia. That was in fact, I think it was his last trip to Africa. Pleased to be with him. And his last round was to meet the entrepreneurs dealing with energy, recognizing that Africa is a little different, and there are swaths of places across the continent, villages, that have no access to electricity. So we were promoting young entrepreneurs who could use their genius to produce that energy that was flexible to go into villages and give them the same kind of access to electricity. Who knows what else could be done? So in the modern day AGOA, from technology to entertainment, I'm giving this ideas as Rosa is thinking. It should cover the gamut. We shouldn't leave anyone out in this trade bill, because we will get more advocates for it if it is a broader reach. We now, unlike 1997, you've seen some of our work. We're now directors, producers, actors by the boatloads, filmmakers. So maybe that needs to be, and of course we know about your industry here, but maybe there should be some opportunities. So what I'm going to be looking for as a legislator is that AGOA fits small entrepreneurs, does not leave you out, but is also willing to have a space for the innovative entity, so that AGOA is not antiquated, it is innovative, that it also welcomes the sort of creation and building up of someone who has an idea in Ghana, Nigeria, Cote d'Ivoire, Ethiopia, and beyond, and that person has an idea in America, and they need trade benefits or some opportunities to be able to get those ideas going. I'm sort of ruminating and sort of writing legislation as I sit here, but we want as many advocates for AGOA as possible. Ms. Whitaker, the First Lady, will tell you that we had some hard work to do to get AGOA passed on the first go-round. We had to convince a lot of people. Remember, we've got two parties. Even then, we had really hard work. Just imagine if the landscape, Yawa, is the film production industry, music, then, of course, technology, then mix in the different size businesses, and then, of course, the goods we were talking about then was cloth. Remember, it was cloth. We are cloth and kente cloth are all things close to our heart, but you are now so much more. There is the agricultural part that has gotten a lot more sophisticated. George Washington Carver, back in the mid-20th century, took the peanut and made miraculous things. Who knows what's coming out of agriculture that we need to be more sophisticated. And we've got to deal with the transshipment where Tom, Dick, and Harry tries to use AGOA by riding through the continent and taking advantage of it. I'm in polite company, so let me just say, collaborate with those who are collaborators and not users. I hope you can read between the lines. Collaborate with those who are collaborators, but not users and grabbers and excluding you, but grabbing the resources, grabbing the fish. I was just down at the fishery, I'm going to say port, where the canoes are. I talked to the fishermen. How about that? I love the scriptures. Fishermen of men, these were Archbishop, they were fishing. I want them to be prosperous. I want them to be prosperous. And maybe the product that they will be able to produce for us will be the dried product. Teach them how to process the fish. And then that fish we can have, but they've got to be able to catch the fish. I'm on my soapbox now. When I go back, I am really going to be speaking about the users versus the collaborators. And Africa, you've got to stop letting people use you. You've got to be able to pick the collaborators and not the users. And I hope AGOA will be so large in its presence that you will be able to see clearly. Johnny Nash was a dear friend of mine. He's going on to glory as a singer. I can see clearly now. We want to be able to see clearly. So I answered it to say our vision of the new AGOA is for it to be embracing of the very concepts of helping the small businesses. And we know that we've got to deal with the question of capital, but we need to help your capital institutions. We've got to deal with some of the economics here in Ghana. I think I will just make that obvious statement right now. But, what is today may not be tomorrow. And so AGOA will be what you will be proud of, Yahweh, and your leadership. I hope that you will be proud of this legislation and you will have input. Certainly, we will be listening to those of you on the continent.